First of all, Professor Dr. Ravindra Kumar, who has been awarded one of the highest civilian awards, Padma Shri. Ravindra Kumar is a political scientist, a peace educator, an Indologist, a humanist, a cultural anthropologist, and maybe I'm missing one or two hats, and also a former vice chancellor of the CCS University, Meerut. He has a huge number of publications, particularly on Indian greats in the political sphere, in the spiritual sphere, like Gautama Buddha, like Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, and many others. We have sort of championing for science, Dr. Alodeep Sanyal, who is a PhD. Alodeep is an Indian-American computer scientist and is the co-founder and CEO of Life Plus Incorporated, a company leading the path to the world's first ever non-invasive continuous glucose monitoring wearable solution. Imagine no more pricks. All you have to do is wear a device and your blood sugar is sort of measured throughout the day. Alodeep is a semiconductor industry veteran and has played a leading role in developing next-generation server products for Intel Corporation before joining his current position in Life Plus. Right? So apart from Alodeep, we have someone who has been with us on many occasions, on almost all the sessions of our Confluence. And today, here she is, always participating, always glowing and glittering. And obviously, we are talking about Her Royal Highness, Queen Mariam Lenore Torres Mastura. Welcome, ma'am. And the Queen is often known as the traveling queen for obvious reasons. She is today, joining a Confluence in Kolkata, and she may be part of the God Awards in United Nations in New York tomorrow. So that is the kind of her mobility, her dynamism, and today we really look forward to her address. Can we request all of you to kindly join us here on the dais, as also the moderator, Mr. Shomen Chakraborty. Right. So, we would be inviting the dignitaries to take their seats, and the panelists would be welcomed and the session introduced by Mr. Anantaraj Kanoria.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respected speakers, guests and friends. It's a pleasure welcoming you to the afternoon session of the Spirituality Conference. I'm sure everyone's very excited to hear our distinguished panel. And, I'll tell you one thing about the current generation. We always look for evidence in things. And I think, the topic science and spirituality is very apt because now it's merging and it's getting more and more interlinked. I can give an example. The most trending topic nowadays is intermittent fasting. And we see that it's been mentioned in almost every religion and in every scripture on why you should practice it. So, with that, I think I'm very excited to learn from our panelists about how science and spirituality are merging. And, very excited to see what they have to say on it. So please join your hands in welcoming me, the distinguished panel. Thanks a lot, guys.
Floral tokens to the moderator, Mr. Shomen Chakraborty. Alodeep. the Queen, and Shri Ravindra Kumar. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Distinguished Dr. H.P. Kanoria, the entire Kanoria family, my fellow panelists in the dais, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, a very warm welcome to this session. I think essentially this is going to be an interesting session because we have diverse views from different, whether it's the spiritual side, whether it is the humanitarian side, as well as the scientific side. Having said that, I would like to invite Dr. Ravindra Kumar to kindly come up and address his address for this session.
इस 15वीं विश्व कॉन्फ्रेंस के अध्यक्ष आदरणीय डॉक्टर हरिप्रसाद कनौरिया जी, मंच पर उपस्थित राजकुमारी मारिया जी, मेरे मित्र, सभागार में उपस्थित भाइयों और बहनों, मैं बहुत गदगद था। मैंने पहले सेशन में, उद्घाटन सत्र में जो विचार सुने, क्योंकि एक परिवर्तन नियम है, सृष्टि का नियम है, और समय और परिस्थितियों के अनुसार कितना भी दर्शन श्रेष्ठ रहा हो, कितना भी विचार अपने समय में महान रहा हो, उसमें परिमार्जन और समय और परिस्थितियों के अनुसार उसको अपनाना, ये भारत का संदेश है, भारत के दर्शन का सार है। और उसके अनुसार चलकर ही हम राष्ट्र की नहीं लेकिन मानवता की उन्नति का मार्ग प्रशस्त कर सकते हैं। मैं थोड़ा सैद्धांतिक रूप में, लेकिन आज की परिस्थितियों में मैं जो आवश्यक समझता हूँ उसके अनुसार इस देश के प्राण वैदिक दर्शन, विज्ञान और अध्यात्म पर बहुत अपने संक्षेप में विचार रखूँगा। हम जानते हैं कि वेद सनातन धर्म के आधारभूत अथवा मूल ग्रंथ हैं और सनातन धर्म के सबसे प्रमुख व्याख्याता भी हैं। सनातन धर्म सदा स्थापित व्यवस्था है, शाश्वत जो सत्य है उसको समर्पित वास्तविक ज्ञान की अनुभूति और उसके साथ आत्मसात का मानव का आह्वान करती। आत्मा के अंतर के स्वर या आत्मात्मा के स्वर की पुकार के तारतम्य में विवेक के बल पर कर्तव्यनिष्ठ होकर सत्य के प्राप्ति के लिए ये मानव का आह्वान करती। अंत सत्य प्राप्ति ही हमारे जीवन का उद्देश्य है। सत्य अवस्था की प्राप्ति ही ज्ञान का भी लक्ष्य है और विज्ञान का भी लक्ष्य है। इसलिए सनातन धर्म के मूल ग्रंथ स्वयं सत्य ज्ञान और विज्ञान के मूल स्रोत हैं, मूल आधार हैं। अग्नि विद्या भौतिक और सार्वभौमिक, अग्नि के उदय, उसकी शक्ति तरंगें, संप्रेषण आदि, ऊर्जा का रूप, तापन आदि, अग्नि शक्ति के प्रकार, प्रयोग, महत्व और संरक्षण और इनसे होने वाले आविष्कारों सहित अन्य संबंध वास्तविकताओं का स्रोत रूप में जो प्रकटीकरण है वो सबसे पहले भारत में हुआ है, वेदों में हुआ है। और ये विषय हम जानते हैं कि भौतिक विज्ञान से जुड़े हुए हैं। वैदिक दर्शन शिरोमणि ऋग्वेद के प्रथम मंडल के प्रथम सूक्त के मंत्र सर्व सत्य परम सत्ता रूप अग्नि को समर्पित हैं। ऋग्वेद के कई अन्य लगभग 200 सूक्तों के मंत्र, साथ ही विशेष रूप से यजुर्वेद और अथर्ववेद के भी अनेक ऋचाएं, वेदों के अनन्य भाग उपनिषदों, विशेष रूप से ईशोपनिषद, कठोपनिषद, मांडुक्योपनिषद के अनेक श्लोक अग्नि की सर्वकालिक और सर्वोच्च महत्ता को प्रकट करते हैं। उपनिषद में भी शिरोमणि ईशोपनिषद का 117वां श्लोक जीवन में प्राण और वायु की स्थिति और उसकी महत्ता को दर्शाते हुए अंततः अग्नि की परम सत्ता को समर्पित है, उसको प्रकट करता है। ये श्लोक कहता है, वायुरा नीलामृत मथेतम भस्मांतम शरीरम कृतो समर कृतः समर कृतो समर कृतः समर। वेदों और उपनिषदों में प्रकट इन उल्लेखों के माध्यम से संपूर्ण ब्रह्मांड को स्वयं के भीतर अनुभूत करने और इसमें विद्यमान सब कुछ चल अचल दृश्य और अदृश्य से एकाकार होने और तदनुसार व्यवहार करने का हमारा आह्वान है। इसी को केंद्र में रखते हुए विचार और कर्म के बल पर सत्य के अंतिम छोर तक, परम सत्य तक पहुंचने का मानव का आह्वान है, मनुष्य से प्रबल अपेक्षा है। यही वास्तव में अध्यात्म की मूल भावना है। सत्य आधारित ज्ञान जीवन की एकता की वास्तविकता की स्वीकृति है और यही हम किसी भी रूप में कहें अंततः सच्ची आध्यात्मिकता है। रामायण और श्रीमद् भगवत गीता और कई अन्य वैदिक ग्रंथों में अग्नि की स्थिति के महत्व के बारे में ज्ञान के प्रकाश और पवित्र तत्व जैसे संबोधनों के साथ उल्लेख हमारे सामने आते हैं। हम में से बहुत लोग इस बात को जानते हैं। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता का 4 अध्याय का 24वां श्लोक इस संबंध में यहाँ बहुत उल्लेखनीय है। उसमें कहा गया है, ब्रह्मांड पर्व ब्रह्म हविर ब्रह्माग्रो ब्रह्मणाहुतम ब्रह्मेव तेन गंतव्यम ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना। वायु, जल, अंतरिक्ष, प्रकृति और पर्यावरण से जुड़े मंत्र वेदों में हैं। ऋग्वेद और अथर्ववेद में जल की गुणवत्ता, महत्व और स्रोत के संबंध में सर्वकालिक ऐसे उल्लेख हैं कि जिनका महत्व कभी कम नहीं हो सकता। हम उन पर चर्चा करें तो ये चर्चा बहुत लंबी हो जाएगी, लेकिन संक्षेप में स्वयं ऋग्वेद के प्रथम मंडल का द्वितीय सूक्त और वायुमंडल के संबंध में और अति विशेष रूप में अथर्ववेद के 12वें कांड का 63 मंत्रों वाला पृथ्वी सूक्त, नदियों की, पर्वतों की, वनस्पति, जो वनस्पति विज्ञान का आधार है, वृक्षों और फसलों, औषधियों और स्थानों की स्थिति को प्राप्त करने और वृहद कल्याण के लिए मानव मात्र का जो उसके हित में, उसके सदुपयोग के लिए अपनाने का, ग्राह्य करने का मानव का आह्वान करता है। अति विशेष रूप से मूल तत्वों, जल जो रसायन विज्ञान का आधार है, प्रकाश, वायु और आकाश के संबंध में मूल स्रोत के रूप में वैदिक ग्रंथ ही निसंदेह विज्ञान के भी आधारभूत स्रोत हैं। यही विज्ञान की दूसरी शाखाओं, हम चाहे कृषि विज्ञान की बात करें, जंतु विज्ञान की बात करें, शिल्प विज्ञान की बात करें, यहाँ तक कि वास्तु विज्ञान की बात करें, उनके भी आधार हैं। समय और परिस्थितियों की मांग के अनुसार नित्य नूतन यानी निरंतर शोध और अन्वेषण के साथ परिणामों के एकांगिता से पूर्णतः अलग रहकर संपूर्ण मानवता और प्राणी मात्र के भले के लिए उसके उपयोग का ये सारे उल्लेख हमारा आह्वान करते हैं। हम जानते हैं कि आयुर्वेद का स्रोत भी ऋग्वेद है। आयुर्वेद चिकित्सा प्रणाली का एक अति प्राचीन और बहुत प्रभावकारी ज्ञान की शाखा है। आयुर्वेद भी इससे जुड़ा है, जिसका उद्देश्य जीवन को रोग मुक्त रखने और उसे दीर्घता प्रदान करने के लिए है, जितना भी लंबा हो सके स्वास्थ्य के साथ। प्राचीन कालिक महान चिकित्सा वैज्ञानिक और शल्य चिकित्सक सुश्रुत, चरक संहिता और योग सूत्र के प्रणेता, रसायन विद्या, धातु विज्ञान और लौह शास्त्र के आचार्य पतंजलि और स्वयं चरक प्रेक्षपात्र प्रणाली के खोजकर्ता महर्षि विश्वामित्र वायुयान आविष्कारक ऋषि कणाद और कश्यप, वायु विज्ञान के आचार्य ऋषि कणव, भूजल आविष्कारक और उपयोग विधि को प्रकट करने वाले आर्यभट्ट के शिष्य वाराहमिर, और गुरुत्वाकर्षण के नियम का वर्णन करने वाले खगोल शास्त्री भास्कराचार्य आदि के बेजोड़ कार्यों और अनुसंधानों का स्रोत वेद और वैदिक संहिताएं रही थीं। निसंदेह वेद नित्य ज्ञान के स्रोत हैं, और परम विज्ञानी रमन का यह कहना कि वेद ही ज्ञान का मूल हैं, बिल्कुल सत्य है। विज्ञान के स्रोत वेद, जो अविभाज्य समग्रता की एकमात्र सत्यता को अंगीकार करते हैं, मानव का सार्वभौमिक एकता की वास्तविकता को केंद्र में रखकर ही अपने कार्यों के निष्पादन का मानव का आह्वान भी करते हैं। इसका अभिप्राय यह है कि सर्व कल्याण की भावना मानव कर्मों का आधार होनी चाहिए। यही जीवन का लक्ष्य है, सत्य प्राप्ति का मार्ग है, यही आध्यात्मिकता की मूल भावना है, भीतर विद्यमान सत्य स्वरूप आत्म तत्व की पुकार है। इस प्रकार परमुक्त वेद आधारित वैदिक दर्शन, विज्ञान और अध्यात्म एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं, और ये मानव का संपूर्ण मानवता को केंद्र में रखकर जीवन की सार्थकता का मार्ग प्रशस्त करते हैं। मैं आभारी हूँ डॉक्टर हरिप्रसाद कनौरिया जी का कि अब तो 15वां साल शुरू हो गया, 2010 से इन्होंने बहुत ही अच्छी ये श्रृंखला प्रारंभ की है। ये क्रम निरंतर बढ़ता रहे। मैंने उपनिषद का जिक्र किया था, ईशोपनिषद का, तो उपनिषद में ये भी आता है कि मनुष्य 100 वर्ष पर्यंत कर्म करता हुआ जीने की इच्छा करे। हम डॉक्टर हरिप्रसाद कनौरिया जी की 100 वर्षों तक बहुत अच्छे स्वास्थ्य, बहुत अच्छी इनकी मेमोरीज और सर्वसंपन्नता के साथ कामना करते हैं। इनके नेतृत्व में यह क्रम आगे बढ़ता रहे। हेमंत जी, सुजीत जी, अब तीसरी भाभी जी से हमारी बात हो रही तो तीसरी पीढ़ी भी तैयार है। तो मानवता के हित में आप लोग, मैं समझता हूँ कि इस क्रम को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, Dr. Ravindra Kumar, for your inspiring speech. I now invite Dr. Alodip Sanyal to come and deliver his address.
Good afternoon. Dr. Hariprasad Kanoria, the entire Kanoria family, my fellow moderator and panelists, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I wanted to convey my humble thanks and gratitude to Dr. Kanoria and Kanoria Foundation for giving me this opportunity to attend this amazing confluence of humanity, spirituality, tied with science and technology this year, and present my talk in front of you. So, the topic of my presentation today is a new index called Good Human Being Index. And what is it? It is actually a novel approach to quantify the positive contribution of a human being. Let's get into the detail and see why is it important, what can we achieve with this. So we start with a shocking discovery on pursuit of human qualities. As Shaumen briefly alluded yesterday on another panel presentation, that over the past century, we have seen a phenomenal progress in fundamental science, applied science, and technology. As a result, the quality of life has also improved drastically. So then, why the quality of human beings has gone down steadily over the past century? Today, we witness around us shocking display of dishonesty, distrust, deceit, intolerance, cruelty, hatred, insensitivity. Oh God, this sad saga just goes on and goes on. So that saga leads us to a fundamental question about life. Am I happy? Are the people around us happy? Certainly, I don't think we are. And if not, then why not? And if there is any definitive approach to resolve these questions. Furthermore, if we extend the discontent of the soul to the discontent of the entire race, we get in front of a very difficult question. The deepest concern, one might say. Are we heading toward extinction as a race? Because we clearly see continued proliferation of nuclear weapons, growing geopolitical conflicts, terrorism, racism, extreme polarized wealth distribution around us, gender bias, global warming, and climate change, just to name a few. It's the deepest concern indeed. So, with these deep concerns, now is definitely the time to search for a remedy. We start with a basic realization. At the root of every human suffering is the human being himself. And in this particular case, to come to a solution or to reverse the course, only changing yourself will not work. Changing as a race is the only remedy. And what we need is an accepted measure to effectively track this process of change or transformation. There are two fundamental attributes or characteristic of this measure that we need. One, it has to be absolutely non-human biased. Because if there is human bias in this measure, it will not be accepted by everyone. There will be a lot of doubt about this measure. Secondly, it has to be quantitative. Because qualitative measures do not reflect the actual state of the measure. So, a non-human biased quantitative measure will quantify the primary human attributes. It will be universally accepted and it will make everyone accountable. That is the most important point that I tried to make. So now we get into a little deeper end of the solution. So Good Human Being Index is a normalized daily score to track the process of transformation for an individual. Fundamentally, it is a score that quantifies the positive impact of existence of an individual in the context of a population. We remember, as a social animal, we do not exist just by ourselves. We exist always in the context of a population. The contributing factors, there will be a whole bunch of contributing factors to this index. We just wanted to present a few of them here, and by no means this is exhaustive. We actually invite everyone to contribute to this concept moving forward. So, some of the contributing factors that came to our mind would be, of course, the fundamental character attributes like honesty, compassion, ethics, etc. Emotional well-being, stability of your mind, your health, your formal education, your financial stability, your civil and criminal record, the score of your neighborhood, because your neighborhood is influencing how you can positively contribute back to it. That's kind of a feedback loop kind of a relationship. The laws and regulations within which you are living your life. The climate and environment in which you are living your life. And we are inviting other factors, contribution from everyone. So, from the score for an individual, we now extend the solution to the population in which we are a part of. For a population, the score will be called an aggregated good human being index. What does it mean? an aggregated normalized score for a population derived from its contributing individual members. And as I said, human beings always exist in the context of a population. And the population could be the family, could be your workforce, could be your neighborhood, could be your society, could be your state, your country, but you are always a part of a population. And the aggregated good human being index will be represented as the accumulated positive impact of a population through contribution from its individual members. So we started with a daily normalized score to measure, quantitatively measure, the positive contribution of an individual to its population, and then we extended it to an aggregated good human being index, which is scoring the population itself as an accumulated positive contribution from its individual members. So, with the good human being index and the aggregated good human being index defined, now one asks, what is the purpose of such index? Of course, we understand, as we said, any measure that will effectively track the process of transformation of the human race, individuals and human race, has to be quantitative, has to be non-human biased, but what more? Here, today, I would like to present only two applications, and as I said earlier also, this is a nascent concept. We invite everyone to come forward, contribute to this concept, to further this concept. So, one application at the individual level for the Good Human Being Index is, it's a tool for self-assessment. Because an individual could analyze their trend on a daily basis, because it's a daily normalized score. If there is a declining trend, one will be able to identify the root causes of the declining trend, take corrective actions, and validate the impact of those corrective actions on the trend itself. That doesn't exist today. That's going to create something new in our life. And we really aspire to get there. When we talk about the changes or transformations that will lead us to a positive path, I wanted to allude to a few examples for the individual as well as for a population. For an individual, it could be some behavior modification. For example, you just try to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more compassionate to your fellow neighbors, to live life with a better set of ethics and values. Or you take certain actions to improve your health. You reduce your carb intake, you do daily exercise, you go to bed early, you do good sleep, many other things. Or training programs such as you start doing a daily yoga or meditation or other kinds of programs to help improve your soul and your body. That's for an individual. For a population, it could be social reforms driven by the states, the countries, the governments, or even a population itself. Corporate policies for a workforce, governmental policies and regulations by the governments. So these are the transformations that will reverse the current negative course that we just alluded to in the beginning of the talk and will take us to a better place. So one example application of the index I mentioned is a tool for self-assessment. The second one and the final one that I wanted to present before you today is a computational paradigm will evolve where we will be able to model each of those transformations for an individual as well as for a population using a formal modeling language as we understand in the context of computing science. And once we model them, we will be able to simulate their future impact at different timestamps in future using sophisticated regression models that will be developed using the latest advent of machine learning and artificial intelligence from the history of the behavior and the deeds of the human beings and the populations. And on top of that, once you have developed a modeling language and a simulation paradigm, one of the beauties of those are that you will be able to simulate the impact of different changes for an individual or for a population as an individual change as well as combined change. So for example, in that cartoon on the top right, we show that a change A and change B get modeled and they get concurrently applied to the context of a population, and then we simulate its impact at different time frames. 1 year down the lane, 5 year down the lane, 10 year down the lane, and what would be the impact of these two changes or transformations concurrently being applied. Or if we apply them sequentially, one after the other, then what would be their impact? What is the best order of such policies? Whether one policy is nullifying the positive impact of another policy, so on and so forth. So these are just some nascent early thoughts that we wanted to present before you and, let you think. And we welcome everyone to come forward, contribute to this interesting new concept that we are trying to propose before you. And let's move the world to a better place together. Thank you.
Thank you, Alodip, for that wonderful session. As a founder of the Good Human Being Index and a founding team member in Alodip, we've been working extensively for quite a good amount of time now. And we hope that everyone's going to come forward and contribute, whether it's an individual, whether it's a society, whether it's a government, and we're seeking from all over the world. My next speaker is Her Royal Highness, Mariam. I would request you to please come and deliver your address. Thank you.
Good morning. Before I begin, I would like to express my excitement and joy for being back here in Kolkata and being part of this wonderful event. I'm so proud to say that the whole Kanoria Foundation and the Universal Spirituality of Humanity Foundation are like family to me, starting with Dr. Kanoria and his family, Dr. Varma, and those handsome and beautiful staff and organizers. I'm so happy to see you. After 5 years of break, finally. For your information, Doctor, I traded the warm beach, the white sand, and beautiful sunset in Bali just to be here with you today, yesterday and today. But I wouldn't miss this for the world. So again, thank you so much. Now, so I am neither a scientist or a spiritual guru, so I would give you my perspective as a humanitarian. And in my world, the intersection of science and spirituality in philanthropy offers a unique opportunity to address global challenges with both rational insight and compassionate understanding. By integrating scientific methods and spiritual values, philanthropic efforts can become more holistic and effective, addressing not only the material needs of communities, but also nurturing their emotional and spiritual well-being. As the founder of We Care for Humanity, that's my organization that I founded based in United States, and I have chapters in more than 20 countries. As my experience, science and spirituality are not only important, but we actually depend on them. We rely on them. We need the logic on how do we help this community? How do we improve the lives of the children? How do we empower women? Of course, empathy is there, compassion is there, but without proper execution, without the logic, these humanitarian efforts and initiatives may not be effective. So we need science and spirituality together. It will not exist as science only or spirituality only. We need both in philanthropy. Science, with its focus on evidence-based solutions, can provide the tools and technologies needed to tackle issues such as poverty, health, and climate change. It allows for the development of innovative approaches and measurable outcomes, ensuring that resources are used efficiently and effectively. Meanwhile, spirituality brings a deeper awareness of interconnectedness, encouraging empathy, altruism, and sense of shared responsibility for the welfare of others and the planet. So one of my projects in Kenya, for example, which is suffering, some of the regions are suffering with drought, no water. So my organization has been building water wells. For example, in Machakos, last year we built 3 water wells run by solar panels. Okay? Without these solar panels, I don't think we can provide help to thousands of families right now and send those children to school instead of them walking 1 kilometer to 5 kilometers daily just to fetch water, right? And now, even the crops are growing. Now they have food on the table because they're able to water their crops. And the animals, can you believe there are thousands of animals without water? How can they survive? What will happen to the livelihood of these families that we are helping? So, with that said, again, new technologies, which is science, is very much needed in today's philanthropy. I don't know before how philanthropy survived without that new technology, but people are helping from the very beginning of time. But now with new technologies, with AI, we can multiply the help that we provide to people. When these two forces come together in philanthropy, they create a powerful synergy. Projects can be designed to not only solve immediate problems, but also to foster long-term resilience and harmony. For example, initiatives that provide clean water can be accompanied by community education that respects cultural beliefs and promotes unity. Health programs can incorporate both scientific research and traditional healing practices, respecting local customs while ensuring the best outcomes. In this way, science and spirituality complement each other, creating a balanced approach to philanthropy that honors both the mind and the heart. This integration can inspire donors and organizations to think beyond conventional boundaries, leading to more sustainable and impactful change. By valuing both empirical knowledge and spiritual wisdom, the philanthropic sector can truly make a difference in creating a more compassionate and equitable world. And by the way, I need more donors for my water projects. I'm planning to build 10 more this year. So donors, 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 you can see me later if you are interested. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for that wonderful speech. And of course, science, spirituality, technology, and humanity all have to work together to achieve what we have been all debating for the last 2 days. And I would now, would you like to, because the session is over. Yeah. So if there are any questions for the panelists, we'd love to have them. Please, the mic should go there.
Good afternoon. My question is to Sri Aludip Sharnal, but before that I would be failing in my duty if I do not convey my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. H.P. Kanodia, the entire foundation, and all the august speakers for the excellent deliberations since yesterday, including the moderator, Madhu Monti, who happens to be the daughter of my boss 40 years back when I was posted in Bombay in the pharmaceutical industry. So that is the prelude. Now my question to Aludip sir. What an excellent proposition you gave about the qualities of, or rather the good human being index. I am a faculty in a business school called Globsin Business School, and my area is HR and organization behavior. Sir, my question to you is twofold. The first question is, you listed the various elements, and finally you posed a question, other factors, if any. So my first humble submission is, would you subscribe to the fact that other factors for good human index could be forgiveness, selfless service, kindness, and elements of spiritual leadership like care, compassion, selfless service, altruism, the same thing, transcendence, and lok sangraha. And the second part of my question is, sir, since I am a faculty, in my class and also in our colleagues and students, have you evolved a psychometric instrument by which we can calibrate? And I would be very keen to have that, our score or good human index. That is my twofold question to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I want to, again mention very explicitly, this concept has been developed by my fellow moderator and friend Showman. He has been the original conceiver of the concept, Good Human Being Index, and then on an informal discussion, he mentioned it to me, and I jumped into it, and we have been working on it together. So, and as you very correctly said, that this is just an early idea. We wanted to present it at this early form without conceiving every detail, because this is an invite to everyone here present on this auditorium, or whoever could listen this presentation on video or other media, to come contribute to this platform. Showman and I both feel that this platform will evolve with or without us, beyond us, as a matter of fact. We are just initiating the platform and the ecosystem. The way we envision this modeling will happen is, as a good human being, as Showman also alluded to that yesterday in another panel, just referring to that a little bit more to give you an answer, that good human being has been discussed in various contexts of our conversations in a very qualitative way over the last century. And we primarily, as a good human being, we always think about the character attributes, like the honesty, compassion, empathy, ethics, blah, blah, blah. But we wanted to think beyond that. This index is not only a judgment, or basically an index of your character. This index is actually an index of positive contribution of you as you exist in the context of a population. So of course, your character is a fundamental contributor to your score, but there are plethora of other factors as well. As we mentioned, your health is an important factor. Just to allude to that a little bit more, if you are not healthy, unfortunately, but let's say bedridden for some reason, of course beyond your control, but at that moment, the score will get a decline. Maybe mentally you are still very strong, maybe you are contributing in other ways, but the very fact that physically it is bogging you down will decline your score, unfortunately, right? And that will be one factor. Similarly, if you think about your financial stability, if you are not financially stable yourself, right, then you will not be able to help people around you. And as many speakers before mentioned, that ultimately this world has a big influence of the money and the wealth, the material wealth. Even if we want to discard ourselves or distance ourselves from material wealth, it still plays a very important role to our day-to-day existence. So if you are not a financially stable person yourself, you are not going to be able to contribute to your people around you in your population, the context of that population, very well. Similarly, if you did not get formal education, we have many times in recent history we have seen people take wrong decisions because they don't know how to evaluate certain statements by political, let's say candidates and other contexts, and they choose the wrong person or the wrong policy or the wrong interest, and ultimately hurts themselves. So all these are going to be important input factors. And another thing I wanted to allude to with additional emphasis, I'm sure you all heard me, but let me pronounce that one more time. This index has to be absolutely non-human biased. Because if it's human biased, if you have a contribution toward my score, I'm not going to believe it. It has to be a completely automated, machine-driven. The data will be collected by a computational ecosystem, a platform itself, and the score will be produced.
Aladeep, I think we can, of course, take these questions offline. There is another session. We had covered it, and we can take that offline. So would you now like to, if there are any other questions we can take, or we can go ahead? Yeah.
Thank you so much. And may I now request Mrs. Divita Kanoria to please come up and make the closing remarks and participate in the felicitation of the panelists.
Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed a privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks at the conclusion of this enlightening session. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Ravindra Kumar, Dr. Aludeep Sanyal, Her Royal Excellency Mariam Leonard Torres Mastura, and Mr. Shoman Chakraborty, whose thought-provoking insights have illuminated the profound connections between scientific inquiry and spiritual wisdom. Your contributions have inspired us to reflect more deeply on how these two realms can coexist and complement each other in our quest for truth and understanding. Science and spirituality are two distinct and complementary ways of understanding existence. While science explores the external world, spirituality delves into the inner world. Together, they offer a holistic approach of life. Science providing knowledge and tools, and spirituality offering wisdom and purpose. Integrating both can lead to a deeper understanding of reality and human existence. Me being a part of the wellness industry, I have seen that the wellness industry thrives by integrating spiritual wisdom and scientific evidence, offering holistic approaches to health. As research continues to validate traditional practices, the synergy can redefine modern well-being, making a more accessible, inclusive, and effective healthcare. A special thanks to the Kanoria Foundation and our team, whose dedication and meticulous planning made this event possible. Your efforts ensured a seamless experience for all of us today. Thanks, team. I would also like to thank our audience both present here and joining us virtually, for your active participation, thoughtful questions, and unwavering enthusiasm. Your engagement underscores the importance of conversations like these in bridging disciplines and fostering harmony. Finally, let us leave today with a renewed sense of curiosity and openness to explore both the scientific and spiritual dimensions of life. May this dialogue continue to inspire us toward greater knowledge, compassion, and unity. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.
May I request Srimati Divita Kanoria, as also Dr. H.P. Kanoria, to participate in the felicitation of our distinguished panel. And we start with Her Royal Highness Mariam Lenore Torres Mastura. And also Dr. Ravindra Kumar. Dr. Ravindra Kumar. Dr. Alodip Sanyal. Dr. Mr. Shomin Chakraborty, who moderated so wonderfully. We have felicitated him yesterday. We don't want to give him a second bag so that he doesn't have to pay for extra baggage. That's it. Then, thank you once again. And can we have a picture with every one of you present on the dais?